Hello? Alright. Yeah, it's not showing up on our page, so yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely live though. I see it. Um, you've got a little something at the top. There you go. All right. How you doing, man? Yeah. Sometimes there's the occasional interference or complication that we run into. Technology. But yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us, or if you're watching later, thank you for watching. This is the Situation Podcast. We talk about everything and anything. Today's topics are going to be kind of little all over the place. We've got some six, kind of like our usual. It's going to range from like gaming news. Um, and then a little more like controversial stuff towards the end. Um, some interesting news that happened. I want to say last week or week before last. Alex Jones is back on Twitter, so that's interesting. Um, yeah, so really, that's going to be today's topics. Just a little bit of an array of stuff. But you want me to start, or you want to go ahead and get into it? Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. I might see if I can take over for the next session and see if it'll go a little bit smoother. But um yeah. More than likely. Right. Yeah, very few bugs. Uh they could learn a few things from them. But yeah, and that's fine if they have, setbacks or whatever, but um gotcha. Yeah. Well, Gavin Newsom is the Democratic governor of California. Um I forgot. Yeah, I know who you're talking about though. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, no, I saw that actually. The picture he held up of the app results for like where you can, as a person living there, you can mark where there's human feces on the street, and it just blows my mind that all Gavin Newsom did was laugh. I'm like, dude, that's ridiculous. Mhm. um anyway, back on topic. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. So I know it's taking us back to Vice City. Um, technically, yeah. That's a good question. Let me find out. It's based off of Miami, so that's Florida. Yeah. Which has been proven to be false. So that was a rumor that was going around. I feel like it was kind of a clickbait for rage type thing. That is false. But we don't know a whole lot more past that. Yeah. Well, so the one thing that I understand is that there's actually two main characters. Now I don't know if they're both playable or if it's only one that's playable. So there's Jason and Lucia, I think it is. I may mispronounce that, but I believe that's the two main characters. So you do have a male protagonist and a female protagonist, which makes sense. Like you could play three different characters in the last one. Why not be able to play two or three characters in the new one? So I feel like they're really, if anything, they're giving people a choice to play whichever character they want to play as. Um, so definitely, um, yeah. Um, so sure. Yeah, yeah. I see. My biggest thing is like we've kind of talked about this a little bit, but we're in a culture war, and it's being put into every form of media everywhere, and I think that's what a lot of people's issues is. My issue with it is like it's being forced down your throat constantly. Everything you go to watch and or play, everything is just some kind of, I hate the term woke, but I mean that's the best way to look at it, I guess, because that's what people seem to um, characterize it as. So that's a big issue. Yeah, yeah, right, right, yeah, right. There is none. There is no plan B for that, unfortunately. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, right. I was gonna say they've always been very controversial in terms of their video games. Like I would say, really the only ones they haven't is going to be Red Dead, and even then, you've there's some controversy in there. Um, well, yeah. I meant more along the lines of you're playing. You can technically be a good or bad person in the game, but one way or the other, you're still part of a gang and you're still doing crime and stuff. Yeah, yeah. But another thing that I recently saw is that there's a guy who lives in Florida, and he goes by the Florida Joker. And apparently, in the GTA 6 trailer, there's a guy that the character, I guess, that's looks very similar to this guy. So he filed a lawsuit against Rockstar, or is going to, for using his likeness. What now? I don't know if you know about the past GTA's, but there was, yeah, yes. Well, no, I believe it was someone famous, and they were like, "Oh, that looks like me." She tried to sue, and it did not go over well for her. She actually lost because she had no evidence that they used her likeness. So, um, right, right, yeah, yeah, yeah. They just make their own vehicle names and such. Yeah, Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. Um, right. So I guess one thing that would be, I don't know how to say specifics, but like somebody from Rockstar, I believe, said that they should basically charge to play their game on a per hour basis. So per hour that you play the game, you have to pay. Instead of the standard model, which is, you pay $70, $60, $70 for your game, and then you can play it for however long you want to. Um, yep. One that will backfire because most people are not going to, go along with that. It's a lot like mobile gaming, gotchas and stuff like that, where they're expecting people to, yeah, you got to pay to play, and it's just like I know people will do that with MMOs, but there's thousands of hours worth of content, um, and replayability in those games. Whereas, sure, Grand Theft Auto does, but I wouldn't say like the online. The online is where you're going to have thousands of hours versus the main story. You might rack up, 100 hours or so, if that. And I don't see a point in like, oh, well, how much are you charging per hour? Okay, that's a lot of money, And me personally, I didn't play GTA Online for was it GTA 5. It just didn't interest me. I didn't play Red Dead Online. I'm a story driven person, and I know they have added some story to the online play, but it's still just not all that interesting to me. Like I prefer the main story. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't remember. Um, gotcha. Yeah, I have played. Yeah, yeah. I have played every GTA that's come out, except for like DLC content. Um, but all of the main ones, I've played them when they came out. So probably three. Probably three. They were top down. They were top down. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm just gonna let you know that you're moving your mouse around and it's making the Discord stuff show up in the video. Okay. Yeah. San Andreas was really good too. Uh, Yeah, it was the hot coffee situation. I don't I don't remember a whole lot about it. I just know, yeah, 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 gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I yeah, if they had just made an apology, honestly, and they still haven't, and guess what? It's too late to do that now. Um, Now they've paired up with UFC, and a lot of people are acting like, oh, you know what? They've learned their lesson. They lost 25-30% of their sales. Now they're trying to correct course. Let's forgive them. I'm on the fence because personally, I don't really care for Bud Light or Bush. It's not my favorite beer. Um, so I could really care less. I don't really drink their products as it is. So yeah, yes, okay, yeah. They own a lot of different beer companies. Yeah, yeah, right. Very much the opposite. Yeah, yeah. Sure. You're you're going off on a tangent that has nothing to do with what we were talking about in the first place. Yeah. Mm, I think they make money. It may not be like a ton of money, but I'm pretty sure they make money. It's not quite like making a console, because when you go to sell a console, or when these companies sell a console, they're losing money for sure. But the goal is to get the money from those who are developing the game. So yeah. Well, I think that's probably true, and I think that goes for any developer. Um, any extra, and that's why DLC is such a big deal, is that it's big profit. You know, it's very little work for bigger product or profit. So, um, yeah, we'll see. We'll see when. Yeah, yeah. If it ends up being some kind of stuff like that, I probably won't buy the game. Just my personal opinion and preference. But if it's just a normal game, then sure, I'll probably play it. I've always liked GTA, but someone who doesn't play GTA, that would be Elon Musk. I feel like we bring him up so far every episode, but apparently he actually had a response to the game trailer saying that he wasn't going to play it because he doesn't like crime. He doesn't like playing the criminal and stuff like that. Which, hey, good on him. Um, but it's a video game. It's right. Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I gotcha. Well, I suppose not everything is. So, um, sounds about right. Taxation is theft, but uh, all right, man. I'm telling you what, I wanted to run for president. I really did. Just not old enough yet. So, nah. I guess I could run after February or as February comes around because we still have a whole year before the election actually happens, from my understanding. So I could run. It would just be a late run, and I don't know if they they may have already decided who their running person is going to be. So, oh no, I know. But all right, well, moving on. Topic number two. It's kind of staying in line with gaming. So it's really just some short updates. The first thing I wanted to cover was Final Fantasy 16. They showed off two of their, I guess, DLCs. Not quite an expansion. I feel like the second part's going to be more of an expansion than just a DLC. But it's the main game, Final Fantasy 16. Yeah. So the one that they just dropped is called Echoes of the Fallen. Um, so from my understanding, it doesn't unlock a whole lot of stuff, like content-wise, but you do get some stuff that you can do, some harder boss battles. One thing that I thought was kind of cool is that you can get the Buster Sword, which is from Final Fantasy VII. So that was nostalgic to me. I was like, that's really cool. Um, so yeah, a couple. It they yeah no that happened a while ago. Um, so it's coming out in three parts. Yeah, so part one was out. Part two is coming out, I believe, soon. Next year, I believe. So, well, Final Fantasy, I would say probably 5 through 10 were really great. 10-2 was meh. 11 was the first MMO. 12, I think I think that's how it went. 12 was okay. The storyline for 12 was great, but the gameplay, they completely changed everything. 13 was hot garbage. 14 is the second MMO. 15 was okay, and 16 I thought was pretty good, but it's not. It doesn't play anything like a Final Fantasy game, so it was fun for what it was, but there was no like, oh, hey, this brings me back. No, none of that. So yeah. Oh yeah, nice. No. So they started off as SquareSoft, and then yeah, and then they merged with Enix. Enix made like Dragon Quest, so they merged. So now it's Square Enix. Yep, I gotcha. Yeah, I have the remasters, the Pixel remasters. So I've played 1 through 6 on the Pixel remaster. I haven't finished 6 yet, but I've already done 1 through 5. Um, but anyway, so there was that one. Um, yeah, you cut me off there, fella. You're good. Yeah, so that the Echoes of the Fallen is the first one that dropped. They actually have a second one that'll be coming up next year, and it is called The Rising Tide. So it's coming on spring of 2024. Um, in terms of what it is going to add, they haven't really disclosed that just yet. Um, so that's something just to look forward to. I've yet to play the Final Fantasy 16, the first one I mentioned, but I do kind of want to get it. Um, Now, the second one that I wanted to mention is God of War Ragnarok. They just had a DLC drop called Valhalla. Um, yeah. So, yeah. And that's one that I definitely want to play because I actually just got the Platinum Trophy and beat the game and all that. So it kind of just continues some of the story as he enters Valhalla. Um, I don't know a whole lot about it, and I kind of want to keep it that way. So that is one that like again, it just came out. So uh, yes, the movie Kratos. Yeah. Well, are you talking about Gore the God Butcher? Yeah, it's not the same, but I guess I could see where you're getting the similarities. Um, yeah. Um, Let me look it up. It is the Necro Sword. Yeah, but it is also two different mythos. So, God of War took place in Greece, where like Thor and stuff. That's Norse. Um, so really, like you have Greece crossing over into Norse mythologies. So, yeah, it's the first one. It's the first one. Yeah. So that one That one doesn't have any DLC. The story's great though, um, but you'd have to get a PS5 if you wanted to play Ragnarok, or wait until it comes out on PC. So no, they're just making deals to make more money. Right. I don't know. That's a good question. I guess we'll see. Um, Most of the time, though, like I think what it is they have a window of exclusivity to that console. Once it's had its run, then they put it on PC. They don't like Xbox. They'll do theirs like at the same time, especially because it's Microsoft. So Microsoft will be like, okay, sell it on PC and Xbox at the same time. Well, they're splitting their sales versus if they did exclusive to Xbox first, wait a year, and then be like, okay, now it's coming to PC. Then they get all the sales for PC. Uh, I feel like that's probably what it is. But yeah. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we could talk about that really quick and then move on to the next one. Right. Probably. Mm. Some spoiler alerts for anybody who hasn't seen it. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I haven't seen the movie, so but I chose not to see it. Yeah. Okay. I think that was probably the last one I played as well, so maybe 5. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Um, yeah. No, I mean, don't get me wrong, hopefully it does well. It's yeah. I yeah, I don't know. I know of it. Gotcha. Well, I know. Yes. Gotcha. Um. Yeah. I know Assassin's Creed. The next Assassin's Creed is, I believe, called Mirage. So I don't know. Oh, all right. Yeah, I've played Origins. I've played Valhalla. Played oh, I forget what the other one was called. Odyssey. We don't have any audio coming out. Yeah, your audio for some reason isn't coming through. Yeah, my my audio is coming through, but yours isn't. I don't know how long that's happened either. Uh, Apparently it has not been working since the beginning of the video. I don't know.
Does it work? God. Oh, why?
It's working now.
I think when I went to switch accounts, it resetted my microphone.
Well, I've just been talking to myself this whole time.
How do we recover this?
We don't.
I hate myself because we've been going on for almost 50 minutes now.
Well, it's okay. We've pretty much just been talking about video games and stuff, so that's probably why we had two viewers earlier, but one dropped off. That might be why. They're like, well, one person's talking, the other's not.
You know what, dude? The people who sat there and watched me and not said a damn thing about my microphone not working, screw off. That's all I have to say. Thanks for making me look like a complete total ass.
I had it muted the whole time, so I apologize. I guess I should have
I keep it
tried to
muted
keep track of it.
I keep the stream muted so it doesn't interfere with the audio recording.
Right. Well,
I'm upset.
that's okay. It's fine. Uh,
About to
we're
change the
just
title to the worst podcast.
getting...
The worst part is I'm not even recording any footage in the background, so I can't even fix the edit audio in post production. So it's stuck like this.
Yeah. Yep. It'll be all right.
I hate streaming. The Situation Live, embarrassing podcast fails by episode 3.
Well, like I said earlier, technical issues. Never seems to fail.
Sucks. We had 3 people. According to the analytics, we had 3 people in here, and not one of them said a damn thing.
Yeah. That's okay. Well, let's go. Now that your stuff is working, let's go ahead and get into the third topic.
Now the stream's healthy. Thanks for showing me that I had no audio. Like, even the stream knew, and it didn't say anything till the last minute. Right when we got done. I mean, I don't mean just to get pissed off or anything, but one of my favorite things to do on the podcast is talk about video games and what's going on in video game news. And it literally muted that entire portion of the damn podcast. And now we're going to start talking about the more controversial things.
Yeah. It's okay. You'll live. We'll survive.
Oh,
Next
great.
time
Now we got 2 likes. Thanks. I bet
that was me. That was me.
Next topic, I guess.
Okay.
I'm drinking after this. Screw it. I don't care if they go to work tomorrow.
Ready?
I guess now I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So Elon Musk put to a vote whether or not to let Alex Jones back on the platform. Twitter, now X. So after the vote came through, sure enough, he's back on the platform. They had a big group call with a bunch of people. Vivek Ramaswamy, Andrew Tate, I think Matt Gaetz was there. Alex Jones himself, and then Elon as well. So it was a big conference call. I heard that Vivek left his mic running, and there was some noise coming through, and people were saying that he took a leak on the live stream, which I don't think that's what it was. It sounded more like running water, or maybe he's making coffee or something. I don't know. But it was an interesting group call. But as soon as he let him back on the platform, it started causing a lot of issues and people attacking Elon for just random stuff. One of the articles that I read, and it was I think the day after or 2 days after, is that concerns about the Cybertruck, which is, with Tesla, that the concern of it being a 6,800 pound vehicle or 6,700 pound, that if it hit you, it could hurt you. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's how vehicles have always been. Any vehicle going fast enough can hurt you. I don't know. It's dumb, but I think it's a good thing that they let him back on. I was never a huge follower of him. He always seemed kind of just out there to me. There's been a few things he's been right about, but a lot of it is just he reads the news, and that's where he got his information from. Some stuff he spouts, and it's just like, whoa, dude, calm down.
I think the biggest problem right now with him is I think he lost a lawsuit with a family over a shooting. He claimed it was all propaganda, all made up or something. Now Now he has to pay $1.1 billion to the family.
Is that how much it is?
I think so. It's either 1.1 or $1.5 billion.
Gotcha. A lot of money. I thought they had done some sort of astronomical number that he'll never be able to reach.
Is Alex Jones a billionaire?
No. God, no. But anyway, yeah.
Just the whole thing is, if I can bring it up, was like there was some controversy. When he brought him back, it kind of made him look like a hypocrite because he made a tweet a little over a year ago about Alex Jones when people were demanding that they brought him back.
his last heartbeat. I have no mercy for anyone who would use the deaths of children for gain, politics, or fame. I don't disagree with him, but
You let him back on the platform.
yeah, I don't know. I thought that was kind of odd. And then what was it? His ex-wife said something.
His ex-wife said something about that the child died in her arms, not his. So so it made him look like he lied about that.
Yeah, which
I mean,
who knows?
I don't know if it's true. I mean, if you were once married to the most rich and powerful man in the world, and you managed to screw that up, I mean, I would probably say some things to get back at him. So it could all be fake. I don't know. But my whole point about that is it kind of makes him look bad. Is just because he said he wasn't going to do it, and then he gave a powerful statement, because that is a powerful statement of why he wouldn't do it.
Right.
And then he goes ahead and does it anyways because I feel like he did it out of spite. It was basically a middle finger to the media that sits here and slanders him for doing nothing but the right thing.
Well,
I
think a lot of it has to do with kind of like what we talked about before, where all of the advertisers are starting to pull away, and I think a lot of what he was doing was just to kind of, I guess, placate them and just whatever. But now that they're all leaving, he's like, well, okay, I guess we'll see how this goes then. Because I think with having Tucker Carlson on there, and then having Alex Jones, Andrew Tate, all these big names, if they're making shows and it's bringing attention to the platform, that's going to bring money in. Sometimes probably more than what a advertiser could bring in. So he's just got to figure out a way to run the platform without it going bankrupt, essentially. And I know he can figure it out. He's a very smart man. He's been running a couple businesses for a long time now, so...
The whole thing is he doesn't need advertisers.
No, he doesn't really necessarily need them.
He has enough money in his personal bank accounts to fund the platform, even if it's not making money. And he kind of made that clear with the whole Alex Jones things. I couldn't find the tweet. But he basically said... Yes, I know Alex Jones being back on the platform is going to be a negative thing that's going to hurt sponsorship, but this platform is about free speech.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. I don't remember the entire tweet. So it's all about principles at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure.
So even if... Because he has all these other big companies. Now here's the thing. A lot of... shout out to the Black Conservative Perspective. He made an interesting point saying they know they're not going to be able to bankrupt Twitter, because even if Twitter doesn't make money, Elon will just keep funding it. All right, he's already made it clear, even if he doesn't get advertisers to help pay for the platform, he's still going to push the freedom of speech on the platform. He's not going to censor or whatever. So a lot of people are going to start going after his other companies, because that's where he's making money from. These other companies like Tesla, and I don't know if he makes money off SpaceX.
I don't know.
A lot of rockets being blown up. I don't know if he's making money for that.
Oh, okay. The ones that blew up, I'm pretty sure was on purpose. So
yeah, I think that seems like an expensive thing to do. Is like you build a multi-billion-dollar rocket and then it blows up during the testing phase. I mean,
multi-billion, maybe $1 million,
which is just pocket change for him at this point. But yeah, he's worried about, since they know the media knows they won't be able to bankrupt Twitter because of Elon's money and influence. They're going to start going after his other companies where he is making money to support the platform.
Yeah, that's like I said, that they targeted the Cybertruck and made that stupid article. So yeah, 100%. They're trying to attack him in any way that they can.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not big on the whole Tesla thing, the whole lithium-ion batteries. That's a different subject, but I'm convinced that's going to hurt the Earth more than fossil fuels.
Yeah. I mean, I sort of agree, but until we figure out, an alternative, we're kind of stuck with it. And, our phones have lithium-ion batteries in it. Controllers, game controllers and stuff like that, they have lithium-ion batteries. So it's in a lot of our battery technologies. So, and obviously, I agree with nuclear. That would be great, but you can't really have cars driving around with nuclear, power plants in them, or a pocket phone that has a nuclear core that's powering it.
If we run cars on pure, what is it? Alcohol, because alcohol burns clean. Like, I don't think it releases anything in the air when you burn alcohol because it burns so clean.
Okay. So, I'm pretty sure that's why they were trying to do ethanol, which is corn.
Yeah, if they could
basically corn liquor is fuel.
They can move towards that while we have nuclear power plants running everything. I think we would be fine because, I mean, lithium-ion batteries, you can't recycle. Once the lithium-ion is done, it's just done. You can't recycle it.
Yeah, I think the only way you'd be able to recycle it is to burn it, and try to.
I've burned a lithium-ion battery from an old iPhone. Let me tell you, the toxic chemicals that were just spewing from the smoke when you lit it on fire.
Yeah. I'm not saying that's a good idea. I'm just saying I'm sure that there's a way to figure that out where they could burn it, turn it into some other type of material. Yeah, I don't know. That's not my area of expertise.
Yeah, just to me, the whole windmills and a lithium-ion powered cars is a band-aid solution because you know what they do with those windmills once they're done and broken? They bury them. They bury them in the ground because the material they are made out of are unrecyclable. So that material is breaking down, leaking into the ground, polluting the ground, polluting the water sources. The same with lithium-ion batteries because there is no healthy way of recycling them that doesn't hurt the environment. Even mining for a lithium-ion is extremely potent for the environment. So come 30, 40 years down the line, we're going to have massive landfills filled with lithium-ion batteries just sitting there leaking into the ground. It's just it's a band-aid solution. That's why I'm pro-nuclear. A lot of people, I don't know why we don't embrace nuclear more. I think it's just people are afraid of the idea of a nuclear, and I don't know why. I mean, yeah, with the nuclear bombs and obviously Chernobyl being a disaster, I mean, there are ways we can use nuclear power safely. The United States Navy, all their ships are powered by nuclear reactors.
Yeah.
And it's just because it is extremely efficient. It is clean, renewable energy that everybody's afraid of using. I don't know. Is there, because we're using uranium to power these power plants, I believe. Can you mine uranium in the United States? That's something.
I'm not the right person to ask.
But I don't know I don't know if that's something you can mine in the United States for is uranium.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know.
But the whole Elon Musk with Alex Jones thing, like that was interesting, but the conversation afterwards to me was the most interesting. How many people? Like apparently I found that conversation on Twitter. I didn't know it was still on Twitter. But I'm probably gonna listen to it after the live stream. But that would be back to subject number 3 after Elon Musk allows Alex Jones back on Twitter /X. He has a massive conversation with Andrew Tate, Vivek Ramaswamy, Alex Jones, Mike Flynn, Matt Gaetz, and others. And Mike Flynn is supposedly a United States general.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know anything about Mike Flynn. I know Matt Gaetz is the guy that
Alston McCarthy.
Yeah, needed to be done.
Yeah.
Supposedly, there's a video somewhere of one of the other Republican House representatives was trying to fist fight Matt Gaetz in the House chambers after they outed him. Like, there's a video somewhere of like other Republican representatives holding this guy back as he was trying to make his way to Matt Gaetz to fist fight him.
That's wild. I hadn't heard about that. I know I'd heard about a different fight that broke out, but it was somebody else.
Don't you just miss when you could settle things on the job? I miss it.
Right?
Got a problem?
Well,
Go to the gate. Settle it there. But
uh,
yeah,
yeah,
definitely a lot of controversial individuals. I know Vivek Ramaswamy being one of them because he is running for the Republican nominee.
yeah.
I'm just praying to the dear Lord when Trump becomes president, make Vivek Ramaswamy your vice president. Just do it. The rest of them, okay, Nikki Haley is a neocon. She terrifies me. She is going to drag us into World War III. She will do it. She can go be president of the freaking Israel. She can go be president of Israel because she's pro Israel war or whatever. And who's the governor for it again? Ron DeSantis. I keep
On
forgetting his name.
DeSantis. Yeah.
Ron DeSantis. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's done a lot of good things in Florida, but the problem is, as soon as he stepped out of Florida, he just failed.
Yeah.
And he tried fighting Trump. Trump has this ability where if people attack him, he gets stronger. Like literally, the criminal indictments, the political witch hunt have done nothing. If Biden would have just left Trump alone, Trump would not be competing so heavily against Biden right now. Biden purposely allowed Trump to get ahead of him in the polls after going after him. Like when I saw that mugshot in Georgia of Donald Trump, I was like, "Yep, this just sealed the fate. This just you just cast the winning ballot with this picture."
Yeah.
And it's crazy, but yeah, Vivek Ramaswamy, I like him. I love the fact that he's not bought and paid for. That's probably the biggest reason why. I feel like Ron DeSantis, even though he doesn't act like he's bought and paid for, feels like it, not gonna lie. And Nikki Haley's obviously bought and paid for. She was like what, one of the board members of Boeing.
Excuse me. I don't know. Maybe.
And Chris Christie is a joke, honestly.
That's an understatement, yeah. Yeah.
His whole campaign is literally just hating on Trump, and the more you hate on Trump, the more powerful he gets. So you're just helping him. I find it funny that Trump just has to not show up to the debates to automatically win the debates. That's awesome.
Well, he's technically having his own deal running usually around the same time that the debates are happening. So
He purposely doesn't go though.
Oh, I know.
But yeah, I really do want to listen to that conversation. There's also Andrew Tate, and I don't really have much to say about him. He's a very controversial person. A lot to do with the whole culture war with men versus women, and that's something I don't feel like getting into today. Just there's a lot to talk about with Andrew Tate, and I mean, I do support with what some of the guy says, but there are some points where it's kind of okay. We need to take it down a notch. You're getting a little too high on your horse. So I don't think he's a full-blown misogynist as people make him out to be, but he does say a lot of things that kind of make him look like a misogynist. I think it comes off on how you present it. Like if you present it a certain way, then people are going to feel a certain way. And he kind of just tells it how it is, and people take it however they feel because they get caught in their feelings. But
Sure.
a lot to talk about him, but just don't feel like it today. And who is the other guy? Who's the other guy? And just making sure, because the only one I have anything to talk about is Vivek Ramaswamy, because I've been paying attention to him.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know about Alex Jones. Like, Alex Jones to me is just a very unhinged person. Like he gets on a topic and then he just fucking screams it out to the Lord. It's like there's so many clips that I find hilarious of him. Like they made a remix about him talking about they put chemicals in the water that are turning the frogs gay. And I thought that was completely hilarious.
Well, the funny thing is he was not entirely wrong about that.
Are there chemicals actually in the water that are making frogs gay?
It's
That would
it's
be
affecting
hilarious.
it's affecting them to the point where the males are turning into females.
Oh yeah, and some frogs have that ability to change their sex at will for the purpose of survival, reproduction.
Well, supposedly this is like chemical induced, so
Oh,
he wasn't entirely wrong. He just wasn't entirely right either. So, but yeah, here's the thing. I think I don't really care who you are or what you have to say. I think you should be able to say it. That comes with freedom of speech. And like I said last time, freedom of speech and what you say can have consequences. So if you say something that offends someone, okay, you said it, they're offended. Now what? You know, it's going to boil down later. Or if you make a claim that's not true, I think that should be okay. But like, you should also be open to the critique of people who are like, "Hey, yo, that's not true." And I think a lot of people will sniff out the truth. You know, they'll be like, "Well, that's crazy," but I guess not always.
it's always upsetting when people can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
They try so hard to suppress the truth a lot of time and create their own reality about it. But speaking of the whole freedom of speech thing, there was some dude, I don't remember his name, but he goes around the college campuses and talks about the whole First Amendment deal. And there was this one lady who was from Germany, and he was going on about Germany, saying Germany doesn't have freedom of speech. People get put in jail for talking about things that they don't like to talk about. And then she says, "Oh, so you want not?" Because she's kept going on. It's like, there is freedom of speech. We just don't like hate speech. And then everybody starts laughing at her. It's like, okay, so you want Nazis going around talking, and then he goes back, "Well, you guys started it, so."
Yeah.
And I just laughed my ass off. Like, you guys started the whole Nazi thing. What are you talking
It is very bizarre.
about?
Well, I feel like we could probably just roll through these last two topics, and then I will be on my way. I feel like this will be a little bit of a shorter podcast.
I ruined about a quarter of it, so.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. It happens.
Well, it had to be my favorite parts about the podcast.
I think.
Damn it.
I think. Well, I'll tell you what you could do if you want is you could go back and after the video is posted, just save it, take it, maybe turn it private. You can go in and edit the audio and just talk over the parts where you're quiet. I don't know if you'd want to do that for a whole hour trying to figure out and remember what you said. It's also probably going to sound off.
I could try to do that, but the audio and my lips would not sync.
Yeah. But anyway, well, I think we'll probably just do these two. So the first one is a Democrat in Boston, Michelle Wu, had a forget what it was called. Hang on, let me bring it up really quick.
She had
the Electeds of Color holiday party. So it was only for people of color, which is interesting. But yeah, so I guess there's some backlash against her for that.
My whole deal is, okay, let's say a Republican wanted an all-white Christmas party and only wanted to invite white individuals. The media would have a field day with that.
Oh, 100%.
But the opposite is okay. And it brings me back to this point. Democrats, if you want segregation to come back, just say it. Stop peddling around it. Okay, because that's basically what you're pushing for. Everything, all your policies, everything you say and do is pushing for the idea of bringing back Jim Crow segregation. Yeah. Except with an opposite twist.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it is. And it ticks me off. Is like, just say it. We both know this is what you want. Just come out and say it already. Stop tiptoeing around it. Because I would respect them a lot more if they came out and said, okay, so this is what we're trying to do, than sitting here tiptoeing around the conversation.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't respect them anymore, but at least I know the truth, you know.
I would respect them if they were just honest about it. Okay, I'm not going to respect or vote for the Democratic Party. They're pure evil, in my opinion. But like, just say it. I could respect and take you just a little more seriously if you were a little more honest. Just be more honest. Tell us what you really want. You don't want this. You want this.
Yeah.
And the conversation that is connected to this was actually subject number 5, and that is the race hustlers of America. Now, these people are constantly griping about people like you and me, you know, straight, white, working class American males. You know, we're the hated of the country for some reason, even though I'm just here. I don't know what I've done to ruin your day, but sorry, I guess. But that would be these individuals. Alexander Ocasio-Cortez, Kenshin Brown, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Kamala Harris, and Congresswoman Elon Omar, and obviously Michelle Wu. These people have one thing in common besides hating straight white males. They are.
Let me guess. They're married to straight white males.
Every one of them. Every one of them is married to a straight white male.
The hypocrisy is hilarious, but it's also pathetic.
My question is, how do these husbands just take it? They're out here spewing racial propaganda against the white man. Yet, like, I need to know, how do you guys just sit there and take it? Your wives are basically disrespecting you on the national stage every time they talk about white supremacy, and you just sit there and take it. Why?
Yeah, that's a good question. Money probably has a lot to do with it. They know they're saying these things to basically push a agenda, so they're probably not, you know, particularly behind what they're saying. They're just trying to push some sort of agenda, whatever that might be. Maybe civil war. You know, they're trying to divide us very harshly.
And it's weird because all these people are they're not, these females are not white. Like Alexander Ocasio-Cortez, she's of a certain Latino descent. I don't know what Latino descent, but she is of Latino descent. And Miss Jackson is black. Kamala Harris, I don't know what she is. I don't know what she is. People say she's black. People say she's not. I don't know. And Michelle Wu's Asian. And Congresswoman Ilhan Omar is Arabic, I believe.
I believe so.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. With the way they talk, you think they're marrying people of their same race, but they're not. And I don't know why Miss Wu is saying anything negative about white people, because there has been, not trying to, you know, say something, but there has been a lot of certain black individuals that are specifically attacking Asian Americans. That has been going around a lot.
It is odd, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's weird because as an Asian woman, you don't feel a certain way about this. I mean, I don't know. The whole thing is just weird. They're pushing for segregation, but they're not saying they want segregation, and it ticks me off. Just come out and say it, please. That's what you want. Just say it, please.
Yeah.
Freaking. Did you hear about the Democrats holding the primaries in Florida, that they only have Joe Biden on the ballot and no one else?
No, that's ridiculous. That sounds highly illegal.
Wouldn't be the first time the Democrats rigged their own primaries. Bernie Sanders, remember him in 2016?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get to our last and final subject?
Well, no, actually, I was just going to ask about your arm, which I
Yep.
think is the last subject.
The
So
last subject, my arm and how I got injured. Let me see if I can pull up a photo of what. Because I should have had this ready. The thing that I was working on. Heater treater. Yeah.
my dog is needing a lot of attention right now. I don't know why. He's very needy.
It's okay. We all are.
Usually he bugs me if he has to go out, but he's already been out, so I don't know. Go on.
All right, I put it in the chat if you want to, if you could pull that up for me.
Okay.
Put a picture in there. I would pull it up, but it would show all of our stuff.
Yeah, give me just a second and I will. So, okay, so you were working on this thing?
Yes, this is what is known as a heater treater. All right, let me pull it up for you guys. All right, this is a heater treater, and this is similar to the one that burned me. It's a little different, but this is the closest I can find. And this one is about the same height as the other one. This is about a 20-foot heater treater with a 4-foot base, I believe. And right here, if you can see right here where this black stack is all the way down, that is the fire tube. I'm going to explain about the fire tube. The fire tube is during the wintertime when the temperatures get really cold. These heater treaters are designed to separate the oil and the water. There's another vessel, we call these vessels, before it is called a separator. And it's basically a smaller version of this, but it's designed to work off pressure instead of gravity. The heater treater works off gravity. The separator works off pressure. And the separator's job is to separate the fluid and the gas. Then it sends the fluid to this, which is the heater treater. And the heater treater's job is to separate the water and the oil. That's its job. And during the wintertime, these fire tubes are meant to burn, because this tube goes all the way into the vessel. And it's supposed to heat up the fluid to help it separate. Because during the wintertime, the oil gets really thick and has a hard time moving and separating. So the fire tube job is to help heat up the vessel so it can separate easier. Now, the problem is right here, it's missing some things on here. They have a burner and a pilot surrounded by an aluminum shield. So what you have to do is you got to light the pilot, then the burner. You're supposed to do it in that order. Well, I got hurt because one of these heater treaters backfired. It shot flames into my face, and I was wearing an FR hoodie. And I had stretched it out a little bit. The previous day, I had pulled it up to my biceps. And it stretched it out a little bit. And when you go to light one of these things, you get this big rod, about 3-4 foot. And you wrap a little piece of cloth on it. And you get some sort of an accelerant, like gasoline. So you light the end of it. You're supposed to stick it in there, and you're supposed to light it manually. It doesn't have an electric lighter built into the side. I lit it, and as I was pulling it out, it backfired, and it blasted flames into my face, and it shot flames up my FR hoodie and wrapped my arm.
Man, that sounds brutal.
And it burns me pretty good. Now, the reason why this happened was I showed up, and the heater treater was down. I had lit in this thing 2 times before. And biggest advice to anybody working in the oil and natural gas industry, you can't just walk up and think, okay, we've done this before, we'll do it again, no problem. You have to be on your toes constantly. Like, if you are not aware of your surroundings and if you're not paying attention 24/7, then it could be a life or death situation. I got very lucky because the other pumper explained when these backfires happen, they could be much worse. I could have got 3rd-degree burns on my face and arm, or I could have lost my vision. A lot of people who get up and close and personal during a backfire, it will actually melt their eyeballs. and they'll be
Oh.
permanently blind.
God.
And I got lucky because luckily I closed my eyes just in time because it burned my eyelids.
Yeah.
And so what happened was I thought I had given it enough time because once these burners go out, because it's set on a thermostat, once the core temperature reaches a certain way to keep it from overheating, it shuts off the gas. But as soon as it cools down, it lets the gas flow back into it. Now the problem with that is the pilot was broken. So the pilot was blocked off. You're supposed to have the pilot stays lit all the time, and the burner turns off when the vessel gets too hot.
Yeah.
So the vessel was off when I showed up, so I was just sitting there spraying gas into the tube. So I was all right. I'm gonna shut everything off. I'm gonna let it air out. I let it air out for about 5 minutes. I thought that was enough time. Why I went around, checked all my other stuff, and it was not enough time. And I didn't know if the pilot wasn't working. I had no business trying to light it off because you can light it off from the burner if you're careful about it. And that's what I had been doing because the pilot had been out the entire time I was working on this thing. Been out since the first time I had started it to the last time I had to start it, which caused my accident. Yeah. So when I went to go light the burner, it sprayed out full force. And as I was pulling out my stick, apparently there was gas trapped in the stack and the top part of the tube. And it ignited and backfired.
Gotcha.
So what I did wrong was I should have not lit it if I knew the burner or if the pilot wasn't working. And I should have gave it much more time to air out.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah.
So well, I'm a very lucky individual. And it's just crazy. Like a lot of things have happened since I started working in this line of work. Like when I first started working for this particular company as a roustabout, like there were people similar age to me that were dying in Southwest Texas doing the same thing I was doing in Oklahoma. Then I had a freaking near-death experience last year during a wrist pin change going wrong. And got severely burned a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's just a constant reminder. This is a dangerous line of work. You never know which day is going to be your last. So anybody who does choose to work in this line of work, you got to pay attention. You got to be aware of surroundings. Don't just walk up and think, okay, we've done this before. Easy. No, you can't have that mindset. And that's where I went wrong.
For sure.
Well, definitely learned very painful lesson. The most painful injury in my entire life.
Yeah, no, I've had burns before and they hurt. I can only imagine what that felt like. So,
yeah,
but I'm glad you're still
I'm
around.
still alive. I still have my vision.
I know. I came and had cake with you for your birthday, and
that was a good time.
All that fun stuff. But all right, well. I guess that'll kind of wrap it up. I apologize that, you had the audio issues in the first half.
To the people who watched and didn't say anything, thanks. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that would have been nice for somebody to say, hey, something's not right. But
one of your microphones isn't working. You might want to check that out. Oh, okay. No.
Yeah.
I'm still angry at myself because I'm just sitting here talking in space and you're just sitting here talking to yourself.
I'm talking at you, but that's fine. We'll make sure everything's set up properly. I think we got a little bit of a late start today, and I think we were scrambling just to make sure we got here within a decent amount of time. That probably had something to do with it. So, our apologies. We'll try make sure next time better. We're still kind of new at this, so
yeah. Maybe next time Devin will go.
Yeah, I might see if I can do the streaming next time.
Also, another thing, if you could look into it, is all of our live streams are up. Do you think you could clip some of the best highlights you think and re-upload them to the podcast channel as shorts?
Maybe.
if that's something you can do.
I've never done it before, but I might see if I can.
A lot of these people on the podcast community do this, is they take some of the best parts
Yeah.
of their stream and then they re-upload them as shorts to try to expand them faster.
Sure.
And we are working on getting a Twitter account for the Situation Podcast. That will be coming in time. We probably won't have it this month. Probably January will go live. Give us plenty of time. Because I got a lot of plans that I plan on doing in 2024. If you haven't seen my video, shameless plug, Project 2024. Suggest you guys go watch it to see my main plan. That plan has nothing to do with the podcast channel. That's just what I'm going to do personally on my channel. But we do plan on getting a Twitter set up for the podcast channel. And since I will be paying for Streamlabs Ultra, which will give me the ability to stream multiple platforms at once, we can stream on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter the Situation. We can stream on multiple platforms, get a wider audience. Maybe we'll do TikTok, because TikTok is just a controversial, toxic cesspool. So this podcast should just fit in just right in there.
Maybe. I don't know. A lot of people on that platform get taken down for talking about stuff that we do. So
gets taken down, it gets taken down. Who cares?
Yep. There you go.
Because I don't care about TikTok. I'm just trying to spread the message.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, hopefully next time we can get things sorted out a little better.
Yeah. So. Oh, it reminds me of the 3 console curse. You know that?
Nope.
Like, your first console was good. It's like these companies, it's like PlayStation's the good example. Like, the PS1 was a hit, the PS2 was a gargantuan hit, and the PS3 fucking tanked right out the gate. I think our 3rd episode just tanked right out the gate. Oh.
That's okay. It'll be all right.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching this episode of The Situation. We will be live once again 12 days from now. So we will see you then.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye.